vision.
Welcome to Your Personal Real Estate, the show that is all things real estate with our industry experts. I'm your host and dedicated real estate agent, Michelle Briggs, here to share with you different aspects of the real estate world that we live in. I would like to start with an invitation to shift your point of view when working with a real estate agent. When you think of a realtor or real estate agent, you may envision someone negotiating deals, showing properties, and handing over keys. But there is so much more to this profession. Real estate agents, we are the architects of dreams, the catalyst for new beginnings, and the custodians of precious memories. In the realm of real estate, transactions are merely the beginning of a profound journey. For families, selling a house and buying a new home is an emotional and transformative experience. It is where childhood memories were made, milestones were celebrated, and dreams were nurtured. I and other real estate agents understand the significance of these memories and are committed to honoring them. Not only am I a real estate agent who has dedicated my career to going beyond the transactional aspects of buying and selling, I want to share with our viewers that many real estate agents understand that they are not just selling properties, but creating a lifetime of memories for the families they serve. I believe the true measure of success as a real estate agent is not just closing deals, but making a positive impact on the lives of our clients and community. From helping raising funds to repair a distressed property, for a cause that has no cure, to help family finding the forever home, to guide empty nesters through the bittersweet process of downsizing. I mean, these agents, we walk alongside our clients and community, providing support and empathy, and understanding every step of the way. The fast-paced world of real estate, it's easy to focus solely on the numbers and logistics. However, we, real estate agents, recognize that our role extends far beyond the confines of transactions. We understand that each house holds a unique story, and we are the guardians entrusted with preserving and honoring these memories. Real estate agents who prioritize community service demonstrate a level of dedication and empathy that extends beyond the transaction. We embody the values of compassion, if I can get that out, trust, and genuine care for our clients. These agents, us, become partners, confidants, and advocates, ensuring that the process of buying a new home is not just a business transaction, but truly a memorable experience. Whether you're buying a home or selling a house, consider the importance of finding an agent who shares your values and understands the emotional significance of this journey. Look for someone who will not only guide you through the intricacies of the real estate market, but also creates a lasting impact on your family's memories and the community you call home. Remember, in the world of real estate, it's not just about the transaction. It's about the meaningful connections and the profound impact real estate agents have on the lives of the families. Together, let's celebrate the magic of creating a lifetime of memories within the walls of a home. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey, Lily says AT&T's giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
All right, welcome back everyone. Michelle Briggs here. I am with Inna Radford. Now, we've seen Inna before, and I wanted to give her an opportunity to reintroduce herself and share a little bit about her brokerage. And today we're going to be talking about how land use regulations affect commercial real estate development and investment. How are you doing today, Inna?
Oh, good afternoon, Michelle. It's fantastic to be back.
Wonderful. Okay, so tell us, just in case for those viewers that may have not caught you on the first show, tell us a little bit about you and your brokerage.
Yeah, absolutely. I founded Address Commercial, which is a brokerage firm here in Texas, and we specialize in sales and leasing of retail, industrial, office properties, as well as sales of commercial land.
Wonderful. So I know that you do the commercial as you were just sharing with us, and I know I primarily do residential. Now, it is two different worlds that we're living in, but yet it's real estate, right? It is what it is and what we do in investments. There's so much behind that. And today's a really great, I really do believe this is a really great topic, because it gives us an opportunity to look at those individuals that are maybe new into the commercial piece of things to really understand like the development and investment piece of commercial. So how do zoning laws and other land use regulations impact commercial real estate development and investment opportunities in our area?
Oh, those are extremely important. They basically tell you what you can or cannot build. And they vary, each municipality got their own range of zoning, maybe no zoning, or very specific, very narrow, or maybe broader zoning. For example, the city of Houston has no zoning, right? We all love it. We're like, oh, well, come and build anything, anywhere you want. But that also means the guy next to you can come in and build something else that you may not like. Some of our famous suburbs like Sugar Land or the Woodlands, they got very narrow zoning, which will tell you, well, you can build a hotel here, but a full service hotel. It must have a full conference room versus limited service. So it can be that specific. And obviously there are guys that are in between. It will say general commercial, which is open to any commercial, but no specific narrow requirement. And I want to be clear that it's not just zoning, right? You are going to look into zoning created by the city, you're going to look into deed restrictions, and you're also going to look into PD, which stands for planned development, which are negotiated between a developer and the city. So you've got to pay attention to all of these.
Right, so those are definitely things that we should be aware of, or a person should be aware of when evaluating potential properties. Now, yes, Houston with the no zoning, it is correct. I mean, it's accurate. We currently have, I was made aware of a particular situation where a building was going up next to a community, and there are people in the community that are trying to find a new place for this commercial development. And I think it's quite interesting that the community has taken it upon themselves to go, okay, let me find you a new spot because we don't want you here. So that's really interesting. Have you heard of something like that happening?
Absolutely. It can be almost controversial, and there are political wars over turfs, and it's a very sensitive issue because land is precious, right? That's the unique resource, and you cannot have it everywhere you want, and people fight over it. Absolutely.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Now, are there any particular land use regulations that have a significant impact on commercial real estate development? I mean, such as you talked about restrictions, but really the restrictions on building heights or density requirements.
Those are very important, and I would say not as much as requirements, but as restrictions. So it basically, how much can you build on a particular tract of land within a particular size goes straight down into your pro forma. And economies of scale is something very important, something that the developer must achieve in order to make it economically feasible. And let me give you an idea, well, just economies of scale explained. For example, you need a gallon of milk, and you will need to drive to a grocery store for 5 miles, spend some gas to buy that 1 gallon of milk. Probably does not make sense to do that. You would rather go to a pharmacy around the corner and buy it, maybe pay 20% more, but it's still more economically feasible than spending time and money on gas to drive to the grocery store. Whereas if you were to get your whole weekly grocery shop and you buy 50 items or more, it would make sense to drive and spend time and money on gas. So that's what the developers are looking for. Whether they're building 20 units or 200 units, their fixed costs are the same. The cost of the land itself, the cost of civil engineering, the cost of site improvement will be the same no matter how much you build on it. So you want to build as much as you can to achieve that economies of scale.
I did not realize that because, you know, we have the mixed use properties that we're seeing consistently, you know, within the Interloop area, if you will. And there, I just didn't realize the cost was just the same if you were building a 20 unit property to a 200 unit property. So I can see where investors, why not get the most out of that square footage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the fixed cost we're focused on to get this economies of scale.
So how can we work within the framework of local land use regulations to optimize commercial real estate investment strategy, and ensure that we're making the most of available opportunities?
Well, you always want to stay ahead of the game, right? You want to learn before others people learn. So you want to attend the city council meetings, you want to go through the agenda that gets posted on the websites and see what's happening, who is applying for zoning changes, who is applying for permits. That will give you an idea of what's developing. And if you see that there's like 100 acres just got rezoned to residential, this means homes are coming, people are coming, density is coming, and that's your opportunity to bring retail to the area. Or if you see office, like some huge office campuses coming, that's your chance to bring again that retail or hotels to the area. So pay attention to that, follow that. Also, we have a few really good master plan developers in the area, like Johnson Development or Newland, and they do a fantastic job. They pick up this unzoned piece of land, they spend 5-7 years going through zoning and land planning, and then they will negotiate this planned development, as we call it, with the city, which will tell which corner gets what. And the really nice part about them is they only care about building homes. Well, actually, they will focus on building homes and connecting with the right builders, but the retail parts they will sell off to other developers, and that's who you want to buy with and you want to be in early.
That and having a, I guess, relationship, or when you're going out, and to me it's like that's how you see a gas station pop up and you're like, what, there's something coming, right? When you see retail or some, when you hear about something that's coming into our area. So you definitely know that there is something brewing, right? We know there's something coming in when ground breaks and things are getting sold and the variance, signs go up, right? Yeah. So how do land use regulations vary by jurisdiction or municipality? And how can we ensure that we're staying up to date on any changes that might affect commercial real estate investments over time?
Yeah, that's a great question. Make no assumptions. Every municipality is different. And it's not just the municipality, not just the incorporated city you want to look at. You also want to look at the what's going on with the HOA developments. Because a lot of people don't realize that HOA can impose architectural guidelines and it can impose what's called landscaping requirement. For example, Aliana community, beautiful, people love it. It has a 28% landscaping requirement, which means 28% of the land must be used, at least, right, must be used for landscaping, which means how much do you have left to build up that square footage that you need to make your numbers work. So not just the city meetings, not just the zoning, not just PDs, it's also the HOA you've got to pay attention to.
Right, and building lines and easements and all that great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. What else? So one of the things, when you're looking in the commercial real estate, now those transactions can take many months to complete. You mentioned about going through the zoning process taking several years. Once that is complete, what is the average time for conception to build?
Well, once you get the zoning approved, and let's say you got a builder lined up and they start right away, they apply, they do the land layouts, then they apply for the permits, and with all construction, everybody, well, first of all, it depends on the size of the project, obviously, but on average, everybody shoots for 2 years, and frankly, I've never seen anything being done on time, so I'd say it's 2 years plus.
Amazing. Well, Anna, thank you so much for your knowledge in the commercial real estate world. We appreciate you being a sponsor and being with us today. And everyone, we will be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, my name is Elias Basabe, founder of Little Maria's Cafe restaurant in West Houston, located in 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Here you will find a family-friendly and relaxed environment where you can enjoy a delicious homemade breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We know you need to get to work fast, and we want you to enjoy a tasty, quality, and healthy homemade food. So come and visit us for a great nutritious meal at an affordable price. We specialize in tasty breakfasts, deli sandwiches, fish, even barbecue cookouts. Little Maria's Cafe has it all. We only use the great quality of Boar's Head meats and products. Just like you, we love to get you up early. Little Maria's Cafe is open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can dine in with us during breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or we can have it ready for you for pickup. Visit us today on the first floor of the CMPC Center at 2901 Wilkers Drive, Suite 137, first floor. Order now at 832-667-8376, Little Maria's Cafe.
The tax and bookkeeping team is key to any successful business. At Gunderson's Bookkeeping, our passion is to help small business owners grow, be profitable, and to prosper. We specialize in supporting small to mid-sized business owners who want to hire a full-time or even a part-time bookkeeper, but just do not have the funds. In addition, we free business owners from the tedious tasks of bookkeeping and help them focus on their business operations, their growth, and profitability. Gunderson's Bookkeeping is your business solutions partner offering a broad range of services to meet the needs of our clients. A profitable business needs accurate and reliable books, so take a strong step and call us today for your personal, no-risk consultation.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Courtney Hughes. Now, I don't know another female that knows paint as well as she does. Now, today's topic is the importance of primer in the painting process and when it should be used. Courtney, say hello to everyone.
Hi. Thank you guys so much for having me. I love being on the show, so thanks for having me back.
Oh my gosh, of course. Now, Courtney, we could talk hours about paint, and it's funny that we just can. So, talking today about primer. Now, what is the role and importance of primer in the painting process?
So, great question. I think that we should probably start with, is primer the same as paint? I feel like there's a little ambiguity around what actually a primer is. A primer, simple form, is your base coat. It is what the very first thing that you should put on any substrate that you are looking to paint. And what is the primer's job? Well, it's really to seal and provide a stable surface so that you can then come on and paint, which really is like the decorative layer of the whole painting process. So really, what is a primer? It is a sealer. It is the bonding agent that seals the porous substrates so that then you can go in and put paint on top of that and have that beautiful, long-lasting impression that you're looking to make.
Wonderful. Now, I call it kills. Is that the same thing?
Kills is a type.
Okay.
Kills is a type of primer. So yeah, you're right on the money there. So I think that actually brings up another question, which we get often, which is, are all primers created equal? The answer there is no. There are primers that are specific for exterior painting and then primers for interior. There's also various different primers that you can use for interior and exterior paintings that all lead to a better finish, a stronger, more durable, a shinier, a darker, or a lighter, whatever that final look and is that you are trying to achieve, there is a proper primer that you are looking for as well.
Well, that's a perfect segue in our next question, because how does it contribute to achieving a high quality and long lasting paint job?
Another great question. So let's break it down again. There are 3 different types of primers that you can use. There's an oil, there's a latex, and there's a shellac. And all 3 of those are important to understand the differences so that you can achieve that long-lasting look that you are wanting out of any paint job that you have. So an oil-based primer is going to be great for sealing any of like your wood. It can also be used for interior, exterior. It's also what you use on metal, any substrate. You can use oil for absolutely anything, and it will get the job done. A latex is what you're going to want to use on your drywall, and a shellac is like, oil, on hydraulics or boosted. It is what you would want to use to knock out any nicotine odors or any very serious stains that you see from any water damage, smoke, anything like that. So having that proper primer is going to be able to ensure that you then are able to apply that top coat, which is really what you see that makes that long-lasting impression, and it also increases the durability of the job that you're doing.
Now, can you explain, I know you can't explain this, I should change that. When is it necessary to use primer before painting?
Simple, always. Always. If you have any bare substance, you always want to include a primer. That primer is going to be what seals in and connects, bonds to the actual substrate. And then you come in with your paint, which actually is a mix of resins and pigment. That is what will apply to the primer to adhere properly and give you that smooth, beautiful look.
Now, you've mentioned the word substrate a couple times. Yeah. What are you speaking of?
What is she talking about when she talks about a substrate? Substrate is what are you going to be painting? Is it a wall? Are you going to be painting furniture? What is the actual material? Are you painting wood, drywall, plaster, cement? And that knowing what you're actually painting is probably one of the most important things, so that then you know what type of primer and what type of top coat paint to actually apply.
Yeah. Now, are there specific scenarios or surfaces? Now, you just touched on different surfaces where primer is particularly crucial.
Yes. So personally, I would say that anytime that you use a wood product, you have got to have a primer on it. Wood is a very, very porous substance, so you want to make sure that the resins within that primer lock in, bond, and create that smooth surface so that then your top coat can be applied smoothly without any divots.
Now, what are the primary benefits or advantages of using primer in the painting process?
So if you don't use primer, that is when you're going to see all of that peeling and flaking that you often sometimes see on exteriors. You're like, why is this happening? And oftentimes it is because someone took a shortcut and didn't apply a proper primer and just slapped some paint on there. So that is why it's always helpful to use a professional team that knows what they're doing and wants to take care of your property as though it's their own, such as 360 Painting, so that we get the job done and you have a beautiful, lasting product. And that you're not calling us and saying, what is going on with our paint here?
Now, you just mentioned about, painters may skip that process. Are there any instances where painters may skip or overlook the use of primer?
To be honest, we shouldn't. The only time that you would skip priming is when a substrate has already been primed. So for instance, if you're coming into a home and you already have painted walls, there's really no true reason to prime unless you are going from a dark to a light wall color. At that point, you do want to use a primer to kind of knock out whatever color is behind and go and apply that lighter coat so that you don't have any of that darker shade seeping in through.
What are the potential consequences of not using primer in those situations?
That is when you'll have a bleed of color, as I like to say. So we have you may have seen this in a home where you're like, man, these walls are white, or they look like they're white, but I'm kind of seeing a hint of gray here, and you just know by looking at it that it's not meant to have that cool undertone to it. What you're likely seeing is a darker shade behind that was previously painted, and instead of getting that true white color that a homeowner or a business owner had, intended to have, they skipped the priming process, just applied 1 to 2 coats, and that's why it's bleeding through a little bit.
You know, when I'm showing homes, Courtney, there are some homes that have some crazy colors.
Yeah.
And what we do, and what I really, and sometimes it's hard for my clients to see that it can change into something neutral, because I've seen black walls, I've seen hot pink walls.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I just tell them, use the right primer. Like, it can be done, right? Call Courtney. I got her number. She'll take care of you. But it's true. I mean, when you walk into a home that may have colors that you do not agree with or that you do not like, it's a simple process to get it covered up, right?
It is. And truthfully, when you are showing a home, for instance, you are correct. You can easily help them paint the picture of, hey, this can easily be transitioned to a beige or a white or a gray with the help of a primer. And we know from the psychology of color in itself that sometimes people do have an adverse reaction to color. So if you were looking to sell, a realtor might say, hey, you know what, this bright yellow or this bright orange is probably going to be a little polarizing, so let's go ahead and knock it out and create that neutral palette for the future home buyers.
That is so true. So can you share any tips or best practices for selecting the right type of primer for your different surfaces or paint projects?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think that the first helpful hint would be call a professional. Call a professional. You can call 360 and we would happily help you and advise you on what products to use. But if you are doing a DIY product yourself, I would suggest always think that oil is probably your best bet. Oil can be applied to walls, wood, metals, anything, and still apply a latex paint on top of that. If you are just doing the walls on your home, just a latex paint would suffice. And then if you are someone that has serious damage from water and the stains and you just can't knock them out, or there's a really strong nicotine smell or coating on your walls, that's when you're going to want to probably look at using a shellac.
Okay, so when you say latex, the first thing I think of is when we paint a bathroom, it's the shiny surface. But the primer, is it shiny as well? I mean, it's just the durability of it is what creates the name being
Kerr. Okay. Great. No, it's a great question. So your top coats, your actual paints are going to be what have the varying sheens. So that's what's going to vary from a flat to a satin, semi-gloss, and a high gloss. Your primers are a flat, have a flat sheen to it. Now where there is some variation is in a primer you can have, there is a white primer and there are gray primers. And what is the difference between those? Well, honestly, it's a question of what the overall look is that you are wanting. If you are wanting a bright white, you're going to use a white. If you are looking for a darker shade, you're probably going to want to go with a darker primer so that it can just create a stronger, deeper hue in the end.
Well, it helps. Primer does help, and I'm a huge fan of primer because, again, if you use a white primer and you have a beautiful color, that white primer, that white wall just really helps accentuate that color ultimately right at the end of the day.
Makes it pop.
There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Makes it pop.
Makes it pop.
Wonderful. Well, Courtney, thank you so much again for being here with us. We appreciate you and your knowledge that you bring to this show.
Love being here. Thanks for having me, Michelle.
And everyone, will be right back after this commercial break.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
The tax and bookkeeping team is key to any successful business. At Gunderson's Bookkeeping, our passion is to help small business owners grow, be profitable, and to prosper. We specialize in supporting small to mid-sized business owners who want to Hire a full-time or even a part-time bookkeeper, but just do not have the funds. In addition, we free business owners from the tedious tasks of bookkeeping and help them focus on their business operations, their growth, and profitability. Gunderson's Bookkeeping is your business solutions partner offering a broad range of services to meet the needs of our clients. A profitable business needs accurate and reliable books, so take a strong step and call us today for your personal, no-risk consultation.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, we are continuing the show with Ann Tran. She is a mortgage loan originator with Envoy Mortgage. How are you doing, Ann?
I'm doing good today. Thanks for asking.
Wonderful. Okay, so tell us about you. Tell us about what you do and why Envoy Mortgage.
Well, I'm a mortgage loan originator. I used to be a realtor for 9 years and decided to switch over to the lending world. I have a background in accounting from U of H, so go Cougs. I decided to get into lending because I felt like it was important to help people with the understanding of the home buying process. It's very intimidating, it can be very cumbersome, and there's a lot of paperwork needed, so it's good to have somebody to help guide you through that process.
That is very true. As a realtor, it's part of our process. It's part of the hand-holding, and it's great that you have that background in knowing what we do as realtors and real estate agents on a daily basis, because there's a lot of questions about the loan process. We want to make sure when we get the phone call for a buyer, and the first question we ask is, are you working with someone? Do you have a lender? Because we always talk about, and we talked about it before, but a pre-approval letter. That is important because we want to know exactly what's within their budget. So tell us a little bit about the pre-approval process, the length of time, and what that really does for a buyer.
Well, that's a good question because there's two things to know about. There's a pre-qualification letter as well as a pre-approval letter. Now, we can get you a pre-qualification letter pretty quickly for you based on what you're telling us, maybe some preliminary information. But it's really important to have a pre-approval letter handy for your purchasing power. And that's going to involve a lot more paperwork, a lot more involvement with the underwriters to make sure that your credit, your income, your debts are all in the right spots. To make sure you're going to be okay to purchase a home and move forward with the responsibilities of that.
Right, because you have a debt-to-income ratio, there's a front end, a back end. There's so much to really defining and getting and receiving that pre-approval. So when that contract is written, and realtors, as you know, when we go to complete that close date, that we're giving enough time for you as a lender to do the final processing for a clear to close. Now, you mentioned about having a lot of paperwork. I know Envoy has an online process. So tell us a little bit about the online process when you're looking for a loan to buy a home.
The online process can be very easy. We have a phone mobile app that you can use to upload all your documentation, your IDs, your paycheck stubs, your bank statements, your tax returns. It can all be done from your phone. It's secure and encrypted end to end. So you can do it at the convenience of your home or your office, your car, anywhere that's good for you. So it can be fairly easy for that part. We do try to make it very efficient and convenient. It's come a long way since 5-10 years ago. Now we have services and programs that we can just tap into your account, so you don't have to worry about accessing those documents. We can capture those from your accounts once you give us your logins, and nothing's kept and nothing's stored. We just need it to grab that information.
Exactly, because you do. I mean, we know that the credit's been tightening, over the years, and it's 2008, 2009 is long gone. Where the joke was, if you breathe, you can buy a home. Those days are long gone. So it's important that we do, and sustainability is important. I know sustainability is important with Envoy Mortgage, and a lot of lenders out there. But you guys really do hold the hands, and you really do take care of the clients and through the process, and really letting them know what is needed. So with it being online and having the pre-approval process, there's also that you look at credit score. How much does your credit score matter?
Unfortunately, and believe it or not, your credit score matters a lot. It will determine your credit worthiness, whether you're you're good to repay your loan, that you're responsible to pay back a huge six-figure sum. It's a big responsibility, and so they're going to try to get into the nitty-gritty of your finances and know everything they can about your circumstances to make sure, again, you can repay this loan.
Right, the credit score, I mean, with the history, right, it really shows the history. And look, sometimes life happens, and the credit scores, there's an impact. Now, do you work with buyers or borrowers that may not be ready today upon review of their credit score? It matters. It happens. To help them get to that point of purchasing maybe 6 months down the road?
Oh, for sure. I tell most of my clients that it's not a short-term goal, it's a long-term goal. A lot of times we need to figure out what needs to be fixed, like their credit score, your debts, maybe your income, and that's going to take some time. So I love helping, I love the guiding. I'm not here to rush you through this process. Again, it's an intimidating process, so you want to make sure you're comfortable and that you know all the ins and outs of it, and that's why I like what I do.
Right. So what makes you different from other loan officers? I say loan officers, mortgage loan originators.
Yeah, and just so you know, the difference between a loan officer and a loan originator is that a loan originator needs to go through licensing. They have to go through a background check. And we are actually, trained to give you the guidance and services to provide you strategies that work well with your circumstances. Whereas a loan officer, they all just need an education level, like a graduate degree or a master's in finance or accounting or something applicable, and they can get a job with a bank and help provide them services through that bank or that loan institution, as well as just market and advertise for their products. So what makes me different? I come from an accounting background, a real estate background, and I'm a big fan of teaching. I taught ESL to immigrant adults for 6 years with Spring Branch, and I miss it so much. I did it until COVID hit. So I decided to switch into lending, and now I get to guide people into the home buying process and becoming a homeowner. And so with that being said, I'm all about teaching and helping you through this process, however long it takes.
Now, do you provide education? I mean, you shared about teaching, and if I'm not mistaken, I did see something that, and I could be wrong, please correct me if I am wrong, but you do provide education to the general consumer for someone that may be just looking to learn about the process. Is that correct?
That is correct. Actually, like I said, I love teaching, so I found that my best way of reaching people is through classes, workshops. We do classes at Envoy's office. I'm also willing to do classes, workshops over with Zoom. Web calls. I can also do one-on-one personal consultation as well. You just need to reach out to me, let me know your circumstances, and we can start with a game plan.
There you go. What else? Now, you mentioned the different steps or different documentation that's needed. Now, one thing I'm not really sure about with Envoy is you have no doc loans or no stated loan, or how does that work? I know I'm saying that completely wrong, but it's those individuals that are business owners, right, that do not have the standard, check stub, if you will, to provide to you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that we just don't only have conventional FHA, VA loans. We also do bank statement loans, 1099 loans. These are basically for people who are contracted workers or have their own business. And for bank statement loans, they're going to be, and 1099 loans, they're going to be different requirements. Like we're going to need your bank statements. You're going to need to see your profit and losses if you own a business. So there's going to be different requirements, different terms for sure. But there are ways to help you buy a house if you are a business owner or a contract worker. Got it.
Now, what about luxury? We talk about jumbo loans. Tell us a little bit about the jumbo loans. Those individuals. What's considered jumbo loan? What's the amount now?
Now I believe it's $727,200. Anything above that is considered a jumbo loan, and that gets into a tricky world, but it's still easily done. Again, every loan product is different. Everybody's circumstances are different, so we just need to get together and draw out a plan and figure out what's best for you.
And your Envoy Mortgage, your underwriters are right upstairs.
Yes, they our processors, right underwriters. Yes, we touch on the phone, they're there.
Or you can walk upstairs.
Yes.
I mean, you can't beat that. If you are 1099, I mean, if you are a bank statement loan, or if it is a jumbo, you cannot beat having someone that can literally walk upstairs with your file and have a conversation that is or talk to them about any questions they may have, because underwriting, that's what they do, right? That's their job. to ask questions.
Exactly. And sometimes it annoys people. I mean, like, it's a lot of questions. They're going to ask you everything about, your firstborn to your lastborn and anything in between. So just be prepared. It's intimidating, but that's why I'm here to help you understand this process and let you know that they're not trying to, capture all your information for nefarious reasons, but they're doing to help you and assess what's best for you and what product we can get in for you.
The sustainability of home ownership, we cannot lose sight of that.
Oh, yeah.
Super important. Tell us, what's the tip, the takeaway? If someone's thinking about buying a home in this market today, what would you say the first thing they should be doing?
Don't wait for interest rates to fall. Figure out your finances, figure out what works for you, your monthly threshold. Don't wait for interest rates to fall. They may never fall. They might, but the more you wait, the more equity you're losing in the house that you could possibly be in. We just need to figure out how to get you within the monthly threshold that's comfortable for you. And so that takes some communication, some game planning, and some strategy. So reach out to your mortgage loan officer or someone you trust.
Wonderful. Now we have your information below, and thank you so much, Ann, for being with us today. We really appreciate you and your expertise, and everyone that's viewing today, you will see Ann again. So everyone, thank you again, and we'll be right back after this commercial break. I kind of closed that up.
Working through the legal system is challenging and risky, especially if you don't have the right attorney at your side. Hi, my name is Sonia Aston, and I'm an attorney with over 30 years of experience. I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today. I'm here to make sure your legal rights are protected and you have a peace of mind that you deserve.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back, TJ Hilscher. Now, TJ is the CEO and owner of HG Home Inspections. How are you doing today, TJ?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
Wonderful. So for those that may not have caught the first show that we had together, the first couple of shows, tell us a little bit about you and your home inspection business.
Okay. HG Home Inspection, like you know, we've been in business here in Houston for about 10 years now. We've done 40,000 inspections. We have 18 home inspectors on staff, and we're proud to say that we have the largest number of certified master home inspectors in the state of Texas. So we get out to your house, get it inspected, and get the report to you in the same day. So
You definitely know what you're doing, and I appreciate who you are for us in the real estate world and fellow real estate agents and realtors and getting the job done for us. Now, part of our topic today, or really kind of the topic that we have today, is the potential costs associated with repairing or addressing issues found during a home inspection. Now, I know that this is really not your wheelhouse because, as we know, home inspectors are generalists. However, it's the foundation or the base or the beginning of the conversations that us realtors have with our clients with potential renegotiations. So share with us what, provide examples of common issues discovered during a home inspection that often result in significant repair cost.
Well, absolutely. One thing that's the hardest thing for us is when a client's there at the inspection and they're like, well, how much is this going to cost and how much is that going to cost? Well, we can't really identify that per se, but that's one of the reasons that we really encourage our agents that we work with and our clients that we work with to get the inspection done as early as they can and for us to get the report back to them as fast as we can with the recommendations of who to talk to about the certain repairs. For example, a foundation repair can be as simple as, some people think foundation repair, oh no, that's the end of the world. Not necessarily. I've seen foundation repairs as little as $1,000 and I've seen them go much higher than that. Same with roofing, for example. But general repairs that we see during a home inspection, let's say, doors not lining up, but the foundation's okay, electrical issues, things like that. If you can hand that report over to a general contractor who works with an electrician and works with some of these other trades, they can give you a better idea of what your overall cost to bring that home to the condition that you want it to be in at closing. So that's what we recommend, is that you deal with a general contractor in coordination with what we find, if there are findings that you want to investigate further.
Exactly. So that is, like I said, it's the base of the conversation, because during that option period, so when you buy a home and you have a contract that is accepted and all parties have signed off and you have so many days to complete any inspection that you want, the first one I always say is the home inspection. And you want that done within you want it, if you can get it within 24 hours, that's brilliant. But 48 hours, definitely no more than 72 hours, because you want that. You get the report same day, but you want to see what that is, because when you have those significant repairs, we are going to go back and potentially request a renegotiation or a seller repair allowance, things of that nature. So when one of the questions that we have here is, how do you recommend homeowners approach budgeting for such repairs? Now, is there something that you can shed light with those when you're looking at those significant repairs when budgeting?
As far as budgeting for those repairs, it really, like you mentioned, getting the inspection done as soon as you can and getting that in the hands of somebody that they can at least give you a general idea. Like I said, a general contractor is probably your best bet to talk to, because they do it every day. We do it every day, but we don't necessarily repair it every day. We identify it. So general contractor estimates, and the idea of getting the home inspector out in the first 72 hours, I say within the first 24, like you mentioned, if you can, because a structural engineer's schedule might be a little tighter than a home inspection company that has 20 inspectors. So that's where you might run into problems, is they might be booked out 5 days and you have a 7-day option period. So getting with some general contractor is definitely my number one suggestion. Once you get that report in your hand, forward it over to them, discuss the things that you want to address, and they can give you a much better idea of what that money would be, or at least give you a ballpark figure. And
as well as the level of urgency.
Absolutely.
So we look at, when we're looking at the inspections, we look at the safety issues, potential safety issues at first. Now, what do you find has been the most expensive repairs in homeowners that you've heard or been a part of the past 10 years, and have heard about, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term at this moment?
I would say it'd be a combination of two. Structural issues that deal with water intrusion can get very expensive very quickly. So those are the ones you don't want to dismiss as just something that needs to be taken care of. You definitely want to address that because you can run into mold and different things like that can get very costly very quickly. And then you don't want your house to be labeled as a mold house with the insurance and things like that without a proper restoration. So mold and water intrusion, I would say, would be the number one. And number two would be foundation. Because foundation, I mean, that's what the whole home's built on. So, I wouldn't let it scare you away from a home if you really love a home. I would just make sure that you find out how extensive the repairs are going to be and what the cost is going to be on those repairs.
Now, TJ, when you're doing the inspection, can you talk to us? You have 20 inspectors. Now, when they first step into a home, because you mentioned about the structural, you mentioned about the foundation. Is there a device that you use for varying some flooring? Talk to us a little bit about when one of your inspector walks into the home, what is the first thing that they do?
Well, the first thing they're going to do when you pull up to a home is really look at the structure of the home from the outside, look at the roof line, see if you see any sags, anything that gives you any indication that there might be something going on structurally with the home that, that the untrained eye wouldn't see. And then as you're going through the home, you're looking for things, for example, like diagonal cracks above doors, doors that stick, major cracks in tiles that run, say, all the way through a room. That doesn't always necessarily mean that there's an issue with the foundation, but they do point that direction. And then we use a device called a zip level, which goes around. We go around the home and we measure the foundation from a particular point in the foundation. For example, with our company, we always start at the hinge side of the front door of the house as a reference point. The reason is every home has a front door with a hinge side, so there's no confusion over where our reference point started and each measurement we take throughout the home. So, over a 30-foot stretch in the home, say a 2-inch variance would be something we'd be concerned about.
Very much so. Now, one of the things that I do know, and I want to confirm with your company, when you have homes that are not vacant, how can you complete that process? Do you move furniture? How does that work if it's occupied?
Unfortunately, moving furniture is out of our license and out of our insurance scope. So we do note on the report if we feel like the location of certain furniture is limiting our full scope of the inspection. But for the most part, as long as it's not stacked to the ceiling, wall to wall, it's not going to interfere tremendously. If it does, if we feel like one area of the home is questionable because of belongings, we're definitely going to note it on the report and give the owner the opportunity through the realtors to move those things and us come back out and take a quick look just to make sure. For example, we had a home a couple years ago that had a rather large gun safe in one of the closets, and the day before closing, after the movers removed the safe, we got a call from the buyer's agent, and the listing agent had called them and let them know that there was mold behind the safe. We couldn't detect that because the safe was bolted in the ground. We went out there that night. The contractors met us there. We actually cut a hole in the wall to find that there was a leak behind the wall, and they were able to push the closing back a couple days, but they were able to make all the repairs needed, and the home closed, I think, 48 hours, maybe 72 hours after the initial close date. So it didn't really push it back too much, but it was a obstruction that was noted on the report and wasn't discovered that there was an issue behind it until they removed it. So I think that's a great example of a belonging causing us not to find a certain deficiency.
That's true. I have not heard of that happening before. I know I've heard where, the older homes that have the electrical panels inside the closet, and they did not clear the closet. The sellers did not clear the closet, so the inspector could not go in and inspect that electrical panel. And that's a safety issue. You want them inspecting that area. You want a generalist to go in and take a look at that to see if there's any potential issues to where if you may want to hire an electrician to come out and do their own inspection.
Very, very true. I mean, there's nowhere more personal in somebody's home than their master closet. So when you know that the power panel's in that master closet and they haven't removed their clothes and moved things, it just doesn't feel comfortable or right to be rummaging through somebody's master closet. So we definitely immediately call the realtor that we're working with and let the listing agent know. And a lot of times the seller might come and move some of the clothes, or they just set up a time maybe the next morning where we can come out and take a look at the power box. But that's the one thing we don't want to do, is invade somebody's privacy, because I do feel like that's the most intimate part of a home, is the master bath. So, yeah, and the master closet, of course. So.
Right. Yes, that primary space is it's very intimate. It's an emotional process. Anyway, when you're selling a house, it can be very emotional. Well, TJ, thank you again for your expertise. We appreciate you being a part of the show, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Hey, I look forward to it myself.
And everyone, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Thank you, Michelle.
Working through the legal system is challenging and risky, especially if you don't have the right attorney at your side. Hi, my name is Sonia Aston, and I'm an attorney with over 30 years of experience. I've helped small and medium-sized businesses and business owners to make sure that their legal rights and interests are protected. As general counsel for you and your organization, I can draft and review solid contracts, minimize the risk of litigation, review and prepare comprehensive business succession plans, or help you navigate your company with the local, state, and federal government. Take a decisive step today. I'm here to make sure your legal rights are protected and you have a peace of mind that you deserve.
We want to thank all of our guests today. Thank you for watching this show. It airs on Thursdays at 5 p.m. We will see you next week, and we strive to be your resource for all things real estate. If you're looking to sell your house or buy a home, I invite you to allow me to be of service to you and your family. I am Michelle Briggs, and this is Your Personal Real Estate and ALZ.
This has been a Now Media television feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
The tax and bookkeeping team is key to any successful business. At Gunderson's Bookkeeping, our passion is to help small business owners grow, be profitable, and to prosper. We specialize in supporting small to mid-sized business owners who want to hire a full-time or even a part-time bookkeeper, but just do not have the funds. In addition, we free business owners from the tedious tasks of bookkeeping and help them focus on their business operations, their growth, and profitability. Gunderson's Bookkeeping is your business solutions partner offering a broad range of services to meet the needs of our clients. A profitable business needs accurate and reliable books, so take a strong